Welcome everybody to your Friday drive-by. This is where we answer your questions, the questions that are burning in your mind. The phone number is 8333-ASK-SDR. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. We have a special guest today. So Christian is here, but Hoagie is here also. He's in town doing a new customer masterclass. Is that what we call it?
Yep.
Yes.
We used to call it a boot camp. I still call it a boot camp.
I still call it a boot camp way too much.
You also still call crypto.com Staples Center.
Yeah. But he's here for that, so we're abusing him and using him as much as we can, and he will have some good insights for your questions also. Let's go to the first question.
What's up, Chris? And Service Drive Revolution! My name's Dylan. I work over here in the Seattle district at a local fleet shop. So we're not paid commission at all. Our techs are also paid hourly. There's not a whole lot of invested, getting ROs done and stuff like that. Listening to your show, I've kind of gotten more interested in going to the more traditional service advisor route. If you have any recommendations in the Seattle area, let me know.
Well, Dylan, I hope you're a Seahawks fan, first of all.
I'm sure he is.
Can you imagine? He's a Cowboys fan.
No, probably not.
It happens.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. America's team. Send your resume to info@chriscollinsinc.com and we will pass it around for you. So love the enthusiasm. I'd give you a 10 on the revolution. It's pretty good. But yeah, info@chriscollinsinc.com and we'll see if we can pass that around for you. Let's go to the next question.
Can you be a service advisor or service writer if you don't have a lot of automobile knowledge, like the components, the parts? Is that possible? Can you become a service writer?
So I was a service advisor and had zero knowledge. I find that when technicians become service advisors, so they have a lot, a technician has a lot of knowledge. So when a technician becomes a service advisor, they struggle because they're diagnosing it, they're trying to fix it. And really the job of the service advisor is to investigate, get all the information and communicate that to the technician. But the technician is the doctor. And so you don't need to know how to perform surgery. You don't need to know how to diagnose. What you really need to do is know how to connect with people. And if you want, we'll reach out and I have a book called The Millionaire Service Advisor that we will send you that kind of goes into my journey with that really at the end of the day, a service advisor's job is to collect customers. That's how you build a successful career. And it's about understanding people, connecting with people and having that hospitality bug, right? A lot of people either have it or they don't,
Yep.
but you have to want to take care of people and be a good host. So you actually have an advantage by not knowing a lot about the vehicles if you approach it in the sense that you're trying to collect customers for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know how many techs come and they're like, oh, my body's beat up, I want to be an advisor. And I'm always like, okay, here's the deal. I'll let you be an advisor, but you have to promise me that if it doesn't work in 3 months, you're not going to leave here and go somewhere else. You'll still go back in the shop. Otherwise, I won't let you do it. Because I would say 70% of the time, they would rather work, on a vehicle than deal with customers because they don't have the hospitality bug. The hospitality bug will help you put up with a lot of brain damage. Because it can be brain damage to deal with people constantly.
Yeah.
You're listening to their problems, their concerns, they're trying to get more out of you than is possible. They're pushing you. Like, you have to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Or you're going to lose a lot of sleep at night because you'll hate that job. So it's I would say it's a 1 in 3 that a technician can unlearn fixing the car in the drive or diagnosing and actually just focus on the customer. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and I'd say too that if you're good at connecting with people, you'll learn things from the tech. You'll kind of learn things as you go, and you'll learn how to illustrate things. And you may not still know how they work, but you'll know how to communicate it to people in a way that they can understand, right? So like, yeah, great question. And even as a tech and being a service manager, it still was a hard lesson for me to learn to like put my technician away. Right, in dealing with customers, even as a service manager, like you want to you have this thing where you want to tell them how the sausage is made, right? And they just want to know like
What
if
time can I pick my car
yeah,
up?
how long it's going to be, how much it's going to be, and they want someone on the other side of the counter that's empathetic and cares, and is trying to solve their problem. It's a funny thing, and I think too, like, um, a lot of new advisors fall into that same trick bag of they think they need to have all this mechanical knowledge and they want to learn all these other things about the job. They want to learn the DMS and the warranty policy, and like they want to know. They think all of those things are the most important things they need to know right now to be a better advisor. And it's just having in your heart of hearts that you want to take care of people and connecting with people. Like it sounds oversimplified, but it's the truth.
It's right.
When you're an advisor, very little of your time is taken up talking about technical stuff anyways.
Yeah.
It's when, how long, like,
All that stuff.
you will get a phone call every once in a while where somebody's like, oh, it's doing
Yeah.
this. What do you think
Yeah.
it is? And I'm always like, what do you mean? Like, I
Bring
didn't
it
know. I didn't know cars were supposed to start. Just make a joke.
I think that the advisor has to be technically skilled is one of the two biggest misconceptions in the service department. And
You do eventually become technically skilled, but it's
by
not the
accident
thing
or
that
lose
makes you.
motives. Yeah.
It's not the thing that makes you
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
It just
definitely
saves you
help
time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But you can ask, and don't try to fake it. Like if you don't know, customers don't. They'll forgive you for asking and getting back to them. But if you make it up or you try to,
I always used to joke with them and say, there's a reason I'm here and not in there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I kind of just did that thing where like, here, my job is to give you the information, and it's definitely not to fix the car. And I'm always flattered when someone says that I'm their mechanic.
Mhm.
But at the truth of the matter, they think I'm the mechanic because I can explain what they need done and everything like that. And I just couldn't. I would tell you that as a manager hiring advisors, I probably had a preference towards people that weren't technically savvy.
yeah.
Because there's just
For sure.
there's almost a deprogram that happens.
I just extra credit too on that I would say is you really want to pay attention to your relationship with the techs, because if you are honest with the techs and you try very hard to make their life easy, if they write something down, you present it, you're very consistent and they can tell that, they will go out of their way to help you. Being one of the top advisors, they want you to succeed also, because if you succeed, they succeed. And so you really want to pay attention to that relationship and be a good steward of it, because then when you do have a question, they'll help you. They won't joke around or,
It's great.
lead you the wrong way.
Yeah.
But if they think that you don't call the customers when they take the time to write, the or to fill out the inspection or whatever it is, they can get jaded pretty quick. Deservedly so. It's their time,
Mhm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great questions. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time on Service Drive Revolution. Thanks for watching this week's Drive By. I hope we gave you something to think about over the weekend. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.